Hi, I'm Matt with eTrailer, and today we're talking about the Kuat Piston Pro X bike rack on the back of our 2023 Kia Sorento. Now this is going to be one of our most premium bike racks that we have, and it's going to have a really nice features, being able to carry a variety of different types of bikes. So let's check it out. So the first thing about this is that we're going to be able to carry bikes up to 67 pounds. So we'll be able to accommodate your really heavy e-bikes, and we'll be able to carry up to 2 of them. And that's really not going to affect its tilt away. And I really show you what I'm talking about. When I pull this lever, it's going to fall back towards me. Just make sure you kind of back up some so you don't get bumped. And that's going to allow you to open up your hatch, which is going to be really nice if you plan on getting groceries when your bikes are still on here, or if you want to get ready for your bike ride, whether that's just grabbing your helmet or if you want to sit down and tie your shoes. And when you're all done with that, you can close up your hatch and put this back into the seated position. And the way we do that is just by lifting up on the rack until it clicks into place. Now this is kind of a heavier rack, and if you do have those heavy e-bikes on here, it's going to be a heavy lift. So if you have a friend, that's going to make it a lot easier. Now, if you want to take a deeper look at this, we're going to have to take off our bike. So what I like to do is remove these arms first. And all you have to do is press this button, and that's going to release it. And that makes taking this off a lot easier as opposed to some other dual arm bikes or bike racks. I like to push mine out of the way completely. Just make this process a little bit easier. And if you do have some really heavy e-bikes and you struggle with lifting them up here, then you can buy the ramp separately that goes with this. Just make that process simpler. But if you just got your standard bikes, you'll be fine. And now I can take my bike out for a ride. What's also nice about those arms are that they're only making contact with our tire, so we don't have to worry about if we have any carbon or alternative frame bikes, or any bikes that we have a really nice paint job and you don't want to scuff it up, because we're only making contact with the tire. And once you're done getting your bike off, just make sure you put this back up. You probably noticed that I pressed this button first because if I try to push it up, it's not going to go. You got to press that first to release it. And right here in the center, you'll notice we have this lock core. That's just going to give us a little more security for our bikes. Next up, we're going to get some measurements. First, I need to grab my tape measure. And the first one I'm going to get is going to be the overall length we have. That's important to know because you might encounter some pretty tight spots, like a parking spot or garage, and you might need to know if this is going to fit or not. So if I go from our back bumper to the back of the carrier where this piston is, that's going to be a little bit around 27 inches, which isn't too bad for a 2 bike rack. Now, like I said, if you are in those tight spots, just definitely keep an eye out. And for the overall height or ground clearance we're going to have, that's going to be a little bit over 20 inches, which is pretty good. And that's going to be thanks to this rise in our shank. But again, if you do have those heavy e-bikes, that might be a little bit of a lift. But if you want to save some space, you can. All you have to do is pull that lever again and push up. And this is going to be a lot more compact and closer to our vehicle. And now if I measure from our back bumper to the back of the carrier, that's only going to be at 12 inches. So you're going to save a lot of space. As for how this is going to sit on the back of the Sorento, we're not going to really block anything. Our taillights or license plates and back window won't be obstructed. We might pick up a little bit of this in your backup camera, but it'll definitely still be usable. And what's really nice about this one in particular is we actually have these built-in lights into the rack. So when you are driving down the road, you don't have to worry about no one or someone not seeing the carrier because you have lights. So it's just another security feature built into this rack. And if you want to use that, you need to make sure you have 4-pole wiring. Here's one end of it. Just make sure you have that installed in your vehicle. If you need a wiring kit, you can find that on our website too. But the way this is going to install on our vehicle is we're going to have a 2-inch shank, and that's going to go into our 2-inch hitch receiver. We'll then have a pin that goes through and connects to a lock cord. And that's just going to give you more security, and that is going to use the same key system as the included bike cable lock for your bikes. At the very back of it, we're going to have this hole, and you'll need to use an Allen key to tighten this up because this is your anti-rattle device. And what I really like about this rack in particular is that included tool is built in to the rack, so it's more of an integrated tool. If I pull that out, I can just take this down and tighten it. And when you're done with it, put it back up. It naturally comes with a lock cord too, so you can lock this into place so no one can take it. But in my opinion, I think this is a great premium rack if you do have some nicer bikes or just a variety of different bikes you're trying to haul. And if you are looking for something that is a little bit easier to operate, then this is a great choice. Now, since we're not really blocking our taillights, I'd actually recommend the Kuat Piston Pro bike rack. It's going to be the exact same thing as this, only it's not going to have that integrated tool, and it's not going to have those lights on the back of the rack. So it's going to be the same thing, only without the bells and whistles. But if you like this one because you just want a little bit more security into your rack, then I think this is a great option too. That's just a look at the Kuat Piston Pro X bike rack on the back of our 2023 Kia Sorento. Thanks for watching.
We're going to take it out here on the test course. First thing we're going to do is hit the bumps. We're just going to see what it's like if we did hit some speed bumps. I'm watching the bike, watching how it holds on the tires. It looks like it moves just a little bit, not too much. This is mostly standard with other bike racks, so nothing to worry about. The bike doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Now we're going to go a little bit faster in the parking lot. I'm going to take some aggressive turns and see how it handles there. Looks like it's fine. I see a little movement again, but again, the bike's not going anywhere, so I don't have to worry about it.